always on your side. This is First Coast News at 11.
And first at 11, tonight we have been getting a lot of calls, Facebook messages, emails into our newsroom about a situation at the correctional institution D. Ray James in Folkestone, Georgia. Now, we just spoke to the public information officer for the prison, who could only tell us the institution is secure and that there is no threat to the outside public.
Now, this prison is operated by a private corporation, the Geo Group, and the spokesman just told me tonight that they will be releasing more information in the coming hours. So be sure to tune in to Good Morning Jacksonville for the very latest.
Another story we're following tonight at 11, a mechanic accused of ripping off multiple people on the First Coast. He's still out there somewhere on the streets tonight.
Yeah, and 3 people have now come forward alleging that this local mechanic took their money but never finished the job. Tonight, Crystal Bailey is on your side. She took their complaints to the Bradford County Sheriff, where this man has an active warrant. Crystal?
Well, these families say they paid hundreds of dollars to a local mechanic to get their cars fixed. Instead, they say their cars are worse off than before. The man they say is responsible has 30 felonies on his rap sheet. Now, Bradford County Sheriff is doing everything he can to find him.
Aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, dealing in stolen property, grand theft motor vehicle. This record is unbelievable.
Sheriff Gordon Smith sits down with us to tell us why his deputies are looking for 43-year-old Richard Laundress, who goes by Ricky. The recent complaints happened in Duval County, but he's known to Bradford County deputies. They've got a warrant out for his arrest after he was convicted of grand theft auto.
He's got a path and a trail of victims from people that work hard to pay for something to be fixed, that he's taken their money.
Last week, Melissa Young turned to the On Your Side team when she found her car left at a grocery store, stripped of its parts. She says Ricky the mechanic is responsible. She says she handed over $1,600 before she realized he was never going to fix her car. And when she called JSO, she says an officer told her it was a civil dispute. Travis Moore told First Coast News he hired Laundress, who took the parts out of his car and didn't fix anything. He says he lost $900 in the process.
I wish I'd have made a better decision on who I got to do the work.
At this time, Laundress has not been charged in any of these incidents. Sheriff Smith says this is more than a civil matter. It's fraud.
We can go back and prove that you paid money to have your car fixed and they didn't order the parts, or they've made no intention of fixing the vehicle, or they've pulled parts off of it.
He tells us detectives are looking for Laundress right now.
People like this need to be stopped because each and every day they're creating more victims, and they don't care, and they're not going to stop until they're caught.
So if you have something that you would like our On Your Side team to investigate, just email us at onyourside@firstcoastnews.com. You can read more right now about this story on our website, firstcoastnews.com.
Put politics aside on this next story and think about how it impacts your wallet. A new plan that promises to wipe out college debt.
A lot of you talking about this tonight, whether you're trying to pay off student loans, maybe you're trying to figure out how in the world you're going to pay for your kids to go to college. This really could impact you in a big way. Under Senator Elizabeth Warren's plan, the presidential hopeful wants to cancel $50,000 in debt for each person whose household makes under $100,000 a year. Shelby Danielson's on your side tonight, breaking this all down for us. Shelby?
Well, Heather and Anthony, millions of Americans are carrying around the extra weight of student loans long past graduation. Depending on which government repayment plan you qualify for, you could carry around that weight for 10 years until the government forgives you, or you may qualify for a 20-year plan in which you're carrying around that weight in loans. Well, this proposal would wipe out all of that, and depending on your income, it could allow you to start with a clean slate.
I don't believe a lot of what the politicians say.
We met Leanne Ludvigsen as she was walking out of the UNF Financial Aid Building with her 2 daughters Monday, both future students here.
They're saying what they're going to do. I'd rather see them doing something.
Because of her own experience with student loans, she's skeptical of Senator Elizabeth Warren's new proposal.
I probably have about $30,000. The original loan was $12,000.
Thanks to Florida's prepaid program, her daughter's college tuition is already paid off. Nearly 17 years later, though, she's still paying off her own.
Every single time they sell the loan to a different company, they double what you owed. on it. We're just going to continue paying it off at this point and not even bother with the forgiveness program.
Her struggle is a familiar one, especially in this office.
We're graduating more and more students with more and more debt.
Rod Andrews is the director of financial aid at UNF.
If the rates keep going up at the rates that they're going, we will eventually reach a tipping point.
He doesn't think this proposal is perfectly buttoned up, but he thinks it's heading in the right direction. It would create immediate debt forgiveness up to $50,000, and Warren claims the debt cancellation would lead to a one-time cost to the federal government of $640 billion. While many students may be hopeful that this proposal passes, it received criticism from many who either paid off their loans already or didn't go to college and don't want to have to foot the bill.
I think it could be short-sighted looking at it that way, to say that helping people with this particular issue is unfair.
Andrews says we should look at loan forgiveness as a benefit to the entire country.
I view it more as an economy problem, that eventually, if it keeps going, that it will overall affect the economy.
And Senator Warren says she would fund her full proposal by using what she has proposed as the wealth tax, which is levying taxes on the wealthiest of Americans. And again, keep in mind, this is just a proposal right now. We have many more details on our website. We also have a list of the repayment plans that are currently available, offered through the government right now. And remember, you can only get them through the federal government. Live at UNF, Shelby Danielson, First Coast News, on your side.
Shelby, thank you. New tonight, a Jacksonville daycare is being cleared months after a one-year-old died in its care. First Coast News brought you this story back in September. Little Malik Baker was found unresponsive at Tip Top 24-Hour Learning Center in Jacksonville's Lakeshore neighborhood. Well, tonight, a new report from DCF shows Malik did not choke on a toy and that there were no indicators that he died because of inadequate supervision. His death is being ruled undetermined.
New photos tonight from the height of a fire that left a Nassau County family homeless. You see the picture here next to me, flames shooting out the windows. And this video from inside the home, furniture and other belongings barely recognizable. The Burns family calls their oldest daughter a hero tonight for waking everyone up, saving their lives. But now the family has nothing. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help the family. We've posted a link on our website, firstcoastnews.com.
A Clay County deputy sustained serious injuries today while he was heading to the scene of a crash. Florida Highway Patrol tells us the 57-year-old deputy, Ron Jankowski, was riding his motorcycle on Kingsley Avenue in Orange Park when he was sideswiped by someone in a Nissan. The person in that Nissan is a 77-year-old driver. Troopers say they failed to change lanes properly, and charges tonight are pending.
Stunning video tonight of a Florida police officer slamming a teen's head into the ground. This happened in Broward County. This video shows the deputy using pepper spray on a 15-year-old, forcing his head into the pavement and then punching him multiple times.
Hard to watch that video. You know, it has since gone viral after several celebrities, including LeBron James, weighed in about what happened on social media. The mayor of Broward County even weighed in, calling the deputy's behavior outrageous and unacceptable. Tonight, that officer is on restrictive administrative leave. Tomorrow morning, the 15-year-old boy in that video will be on Good Morning America. You can watch that right after Good Morning Jacksonville at 7 a.m.
Firefighters in Melrose added another item to their arsenal, Narcan. Narcan is a powerful antidote used to revive people who have overdosed. Crew members will get that nasal spray. They got it at 9 tonight, about 2 hours ago, so they already have it on the streets with them. In 2017, there were more than 70,000 people killed after drug overdoses in the United States.
In Duval County, we're waiting to learn exactly how a 2-year-old girl was shot inside of a home. It happened on the north side Friday night. Police have not said who fired the gun or who owned it, but the Department of Children and Families is now investigating. This little girl is expected to be okay.
Just 2 months ago, another 2-year-old boy was shot and killed in Jacksonville. Police say Jaden James Pietra and his older sibling were playing with a gun when little Jaden accidentally shot himself with that gun. Both the child's mother and her boyfriend were arrested for child neglect. By Florida law, guns must be stored in a securely locked box or container or a trigger lock in order to keep guns out of the hands of minors.
Well, some major changes could be coming when it comes to driving on Fernandina Beach. The City Commission wants to limit beach driving to 4-wheel drive vehicles only. And some beachgoers, they are not happy about that plan. Tonight, more than 1,400 people have signed a petition against it. The City Commission has one final vote before the measure is approved or voted down.
In Duval County, the man bitten by a shark in Jack's Beach is expected to be okay. Police say the 25-year-old was bitten around 5:30 yesterday near 30th Avenue South. It's not clear what kind of shark it was. He is the second person bitten by a shark this month. Just last week, a young girl was bitten in Crescent Beach while celebrating her 10th birthday. She got 40 stitches, but she is expected to be okay.
You know, it's not even summer yet, and already 2 swimmers have been bitten by sharks here on our First Coast. One in Jack's Beach, one in St. Augustine Beach. But a device on the market right now promises to prevent shark attacks altogether. Lifelong surfer Nathan Garrison partnered with scientists to create what he is calling shark bands. It's designed to give you some kind of defense instead of just relying on luck.
Strong magnetism, strong magnets can create perhaps a scrambling effect on the sharks. When they're coming in close to a bait and there's a magnet there, it may make it difficult to get in on their object. It might even repel them.
Now, shark experts are urging caution, saying that there are no proven 100% shark repellents. With or without technology, experts recommend staying out of the ocean at dusk and dawn. That, of course, is when sharks typically feed. Shark bands run anywhere from $50 to $80.
And tonight, our Eric Alvarez answers this question. Just what are your chances of actually being bitten by a shark?
Well, it turns out scientists have no way of knowing how many sharks are in the ocean, but you can assume there are a lot. Those same experts believe there are 400 different types of shark species in the ocean. So what are your odds of being attacked? Considering only people who go to the beaches, your chances of being attacked are 1 in 11.5 million. And the chances of being killed by a shark, 1 in 264 million. Experts say to decrease your chances, swim in a group, stay close to the shore, and avoid water at night, dawn, or dusk. Eric Alvarez, First Coast News, on your side.
Good information, Eric. Thank you. Well, happening now, police are searching for 2 men they say are behind a hammer attack on Jacksonville Beach. So take a close look at these surveillance photos. These are the 2 persons of interest police right now are trying to identify. These men allegedly robbed and beat a man and then used his credit cards. This attack happened early in the morning on March the 31st.
Also happening tonight, JSO searching for 3 armed men who forced their way into an internet cafe. This happened on Cassett Avenue this afternoon. Police say the suspects forced customers onto the ground at gunpoint and left with cash and the victim's belongings. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but those suspects are still on the street tonight.
Well, the Florida Senate is expected to vote tomorrow on a bill that would allow teachers to carry weapons on campus statewide. Those volunteers would have to take training and undergo psychiatric evaluations before they could carry in Florida. Officials with the Duval, Nassau, and St. Johns County school boards have come out against Army teachers, but the Putnam County School Board and Sheriff's Office have an initiative to train teachers and staff who volunteer to carry weapons at school.
Cracking down on texting and driving. Tomorrow, the Florida legislature is finally set to consider legislation that would make texting while driving a primary offense. 43 states already make texting while driving a primary offense. And last year, distracted drivers, they caused more than 50,000 accidents here in Florida.
Put down your cell phone when you're driving. Well, the Blue Angels are changing their jets for the first time in 30 years. The world-famous acrobatic team is transitioning from older Hornets to newer versions. The Angels will receive 11 Super Hornets by 2021. It will cost the U.S. Navy nearly $90 million to design and implement necessary modifications to the aircraft.
Check this video out. Firefighters in Miami wrangle a gator that turns out to be 11 feet long. Fire officials thought it was an unconscious person at first until they got closer and found out it was a gator. Due to safety concerns, that gator was euthanized. This video is a good reminder that it is alligator mating season and warmer weather revs up the predator's metabolism, making them more active and aggressive as they hunt for prey and also a mate.
Well, not exactly how you expect to see the Easter Bunny. Look at this, coming to blows on the streets in Orlando. Officials say the man in that suit was coming to the defense of a woman after a man allegedly spit on her. Orlando police say that fight happened around 10:30 last night and no one was arrested.
A health alert tonight. Georgia health officials are reporting a statewide outbreak of hepatitis A. This after 250 cases of the infection have been identified. The number of cases identified in 2018 is 9 times higher than the total in 2017, which was 24. Hepatitis A is most commonly spread through close person-to-person transmission through fecal-oral exposure. It can also be transmitted through contaminated food, water, or other objects. The best way to prevent the virus is to get vaccinated.
Well, in St. Johns County, this poor little guy, a Rottweiler, got her head stuck in a cinder block. Firefighters came to her rescue, though. They tried first soap and water. That didn't work. So then they had to bring in the jaws of life. But the good news is she was freed. She's not hurt. And she was sniffing around the yard as soon as she got out of that cinder block.
Now, weather with your First Coast News storm experts, powered by AC Designs.
Well, Tim joins us now, and it was a beautiful Easter Sunday.
Beautiful Sunday, beautiful day today, Earth Day, so I thought that was very appropriate. Here on the First Coast, let's take a look. Of course, Earth Day, where a lot of us are reminded to think globally and act locally, and that's what folks, well, we're doing all over the world today. Thinking locally as far as the water we drink, the air we breathe, the atmosphere, think specifically fertilizer in the water, pollutants we inhale, and carbon heading into the atmosphere. Let's go beyond Earth Day. In fact, let's go beyond this week because it's going to be relatively quiet for the next couple of days. Let's go to next week. Let's go all the way to Cinco de Mayo. How about that? May 5th. As an overall look, it looks to us like a week from now, it'll be warmer, and I feel pretty confident about that. The wetter part, that's the iffy part. We have to go to the jet stream globally, and it does look like the polar jet stream will be up where it should be this time of the year, and pretty strong, and that's why that should put us in the warmer than average scenario next week. The tougher part, what's the subtropical jet stream going to do? It looks to me like there could be a bit of a ridge. You see that bump over the Rockies, and that's why it's right on the edge of whether we'll be drier or wetter. That's next week. What I do feel confident about is our next rain event will not be until Friday. Widespread rain, we're at least for now going to go for about 60% of us to be hit. But I'm not nearly as definitive about this Friday's event as we were last Friday on last Monday. That is, will there be severe weather? Very iffy. We'll keep you updated on that. For now, this is not iffy. Another beautiful, clear night. Let's take a look, downtown. So what are the temperatures like? Well, it's one of those nights we've reached that time of the year where, with clear skies, but now warming waters, we have a big difference. For instance, downtown right now on the river, it's 72 degrees. Out at the spaceport, just 10 miles farther off to the west, it's already down to 57. So to the north and west of downtown, we'll drop to 53 degrees, whereas along the river and the beaches probably won't drop below 65. Incidentally, in case you've missed it, the Lyrid meteor shower is happening right now. The moon's going to rise at 11:30. I probably shouldn't tell you to leave the TV to go check it out, but I have to be honest about the fact that once the moon does rise, it's not going to be as visible until tomorrow morning, just before sunrise. Okay, we'll leave astronomy alone, come back to meteorology. 84 degrees tomorrow afternoon, so warming, but notice another relatively dry day. Relative humidity levels at 35%. The surf is warming up, so even if you don't want to hop in the ocean with the life that is there, on land, on the sand, a nice sea breeze, temperatures at 78 degrees. Here's the low we're going to watch. Feel pretty definitive. It's going to be stormy over Texas. It's going to weaken somewhat as it heads our way. If this low passes north of us, we'll have severe weather again on Friday. If it passes south of us, it's just going to be rain. We'll keep you updated. I feel confident we'll be dry through Thursday, wet Friday, but as long as we're wet Friday, then we could have a relatively dry upcoming weekend.
Thank you, Tim. Well, from biting your nails to quitting smoking, the best way to avoid a bad habit, of course, is to never start in the first place.
Yeah, now new studies suggest parents may want to get kids into a healthy routine as early as possible. Researchers at Mount Sinai Hospital studied the health habits of more than 500 preschoolers. After sending some of those kids through a program to teach them about a healthy diet, exercise, how their bodies work, and how to manage their emotions, those kids saw a 12% boost in their health knowledge. That's compared to the kids who did not get the special lessons.
Well, if you have children, you may have an old car seat that you don't know what to do with. I have a garage full of them.
Yeah, what Target is now offering parents, that's still ahead after sports.
Tune into any newscast in Jacksonville tonight and you'll hear about the Iowa tight ends. But there's only one sportscaster in this market who has covered the Hawkeyes. The case for the Jaguars' number 7 pick is coming up next in sports.
From the Farrah and Farrah Sports Desk, it's First Coast Sports.
Win or go home for the Jacksonville Icemen tonight against the Florida Everblades. Everblades have only lost 5 times at home all season. But the Icemen up for the challenge. To Hertz Arena in Estero we go. Mikhail Burden getting the start in net. Everblades scored less than 2 minutes into the game, but Maxime Fortier had the answer. Plink and you'll miss it. right in front of the net, and he taps it on home. How hot has this guy been since being recalled? His 4th goal of these playoffs. Were tied at 1 apiece. However, just as they did Saturday, the Everblades scored in a flurry. 4 goals in the first 7 minutes of the second period. 5-1. Too large a hole for the Icemen to climb out of. They finished the season 38-36, 2-2, and with their first playoff appearance in team history. By now, my affinity for the state of Iowa is public knowledge. If it's not, that photo we keep showing of former Hawkeyes and potential first-round draftees TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant, yeah, here's the part of the photo the AP cropped out. I'm not going to sit here and say the Jaguars should draft an Iowa tight end. No, the Jags should simply draft a tight end high because more than 30% of Nick Foles' targets in 2018 were to tight ends. The Jags ranked dead last in tight end receptions last year. Their receiving core as a whole ranked 28th. Particularly Hawkinson can flatten defensive ends like a pancake and be an extension of that much maligned Jaguars offensive line that rotated through 12 linemen last year and gave up 53 sacks. The Jags would only be the 6th team in the last 30 years to take a tight end in the first round. But when did being the odd man out ever scare Tom Coughlin?
You can, go ahead and look at all the stats and say, well, this doesn't happen. Right. It happens if the guy's good enough. Just think about the teams in the league where the tight ends are catching 100 balls. You want to tell me that's not worth having in your building?
They're really 2 different positions. You have your Y and your F, and generally they're 2 different skill sets too. So to find a guy that can do both and have that skill set is kind of hard to find. But you can get by and you can have a really good offense where having 2 different guys, and that's probably where the value is.
Like I said, it doesn't have to be a Hawkeye. As Tom Coughlin told me personally today, this tight end class has a lot of depth, as you can see there. With all due respect to the price tag Caldwell was alluding to, the Jags tight end room as it stands right now combined for 50 catches last year. 49ers tight end and former Iowa Hawkeye George Kittle had 88 catches by himself. All right, need you guys to pay attention for this part. The NFL Draft will be broadcast on ABC 25 this year. However, our Ready to Roar preview show kicks off the fun Thursday nights at 7 p.m. live from Miller's Ale House. We'll break down the top prospects, feature some special guests, and get you set for the 2019 NFL Draft. And then we will put a bow on the weekend with our draft special Saturday nights at 7 p.m. where we'll recap the Jaguars selections and preview the 2019 season. Real quick before we go, high school football back in action. Spring practice officially underway. No pads these days, but they are gearing up for those mid-May scrimmages, which will be forthcoming. Some big ones there. Episcopal at Providence, Sandalwood at Fletcher. Keep an eye out for those. That's it for sports. We're back after this.